API one meetup events. Okay. So let's create a new request here. Title location, description location. I don't think this is sufficient, but we'll see. Alrighty, let's take a look at that meetup event. Don't show up the database. Aren't you on vacation, my friend? What's up? Meetup members. Waiting for you. Yeah, man. We're traveling in like 2-3 days as well, and we are very scared that, I mean, there's like 99% probability that the event is gonna be canceled, like almost certain. Yeah, it's we had some guests past week and some family, and their flight was delayed like 4 hours or something. I hope it comes fast, man. I hope it comes fast. Okay. Create an event, blah blah blah. So meetup ID, creator ID. So that's not here. Okay. Location Zoom, location type virtual. Yeah, I mean, flights are kind of messed up, and that's unfortunate, but for sure, 100%. Create a thought. Blah 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 blah. What did I want to do? What did I want to do? Yeah, let's take a look at that. Creator ID. So no. Creator ID obviously is going to be the logged in user, so it's going to be rec.user.id, right? Spots location type event. Okay, that's great. I think we'll see if that works. And then obviously if we hit this, we're not authorized, right? So we're gonna have to, let's try grabbing JSON web token from last night. I guess it should still be valid, right? So if we go to headers and just grab this bad boy here, then we go here, we say cookies, and then we try this now again, bad request. Okay, great. So we're not passing validation, right? So let's see. And it's very annoying that we're getting those generic bad request types of things, right? Let's see, did we mess that up in a meetup ID? That's correct, yes. New event model, meetup event create, yeah. So, and what is the error? Meetup end date, okay. We have a start date and end date, right? And it's kind of complaining apparently that I don't have them, but I'm pretty sure I do have them. Start date, end date, right? Yeah. Let's go back to the router. Let's say create event, right? Yeah, so it's probably something messed up here. Let's make sure this isn't that the issue isn't actually the so let's just say here false, just to make sure that it's not a response schema. So it isn't. Okay, great. Well, also most likely our schema is wrong here, right? Now this is a meetup body schema. What? Create event. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Meetup event response. So we're using the wrong schema here. Meetup event body schema should be here, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Okay, great. All right, great. So that's good. Then if we get actually back here, right? Meetup event, we have this params event ID. No, that's not it, sorry. So we have a, yeah, that's also problematic, right? So let's update that. So we should have params here. And then this should be meetup ID, right? Yes, beautiful. Okay, let's try hitting this again. All right, let's go back to the Elias. Good evening, my friend. How are you? So wait a minute. So we have the body now. We have params, type object, properties, meetup ID. That's correct. Yes. So that's all correct from that angle, right? So let's get over here. Good evening, Pozdravate. Здравейте. Meetup ID, request params. Yeah, request user creator ID. Yes. Meetup IDs here. I see. Wish you safe flight, man. I hope you don't wait too long. Thank you for passing by, dude. Very much appreciate that. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so that seems correct, at least. Fact, good evening, buddy. So yeah, so the ID is there. I'm using a Sequelize.js. So that's great. That's okay. Like, wait, request body. Also, let me just do one thing. I think that, give me a second here. Let me just try one thing here very quickly. Yeah, so it doesn't really make a difference, does it? Right? It doesn't. Okay, I see. Yes, this keeps failing. Meetup event create, it doesn't like the actual meetup ID, which is super strange. Violates foreign key constraint, meetup event, meetup ID, foreign key. Violates foreign key constraint. Why? Well, the only reason why this can be is that maybe the meetup itself doesn't exist, right? So let's try that. Let's try to create a meetup, right? And then try to create an event. Yeah, that was it, right? Okay, great, right? So we can kind of create a few of them, right? And if we take a look at the database, at our Postgres database here, right? We should see meetup event now created, right? So that's great. Okay, beautiful. Okay, hopefully this stream we can get to actually slowly building the UI, but let's finalize those. Let's finalize the rest of those, at least few of the remaining CRUD operations, right? And then we'll move to the front. So create an event. Let's create another one. Let's say update the event, right? As you may notice, update an events. Let's take a look at our Swagger. Yeah, here it is, this fella over here, right? Got it, all right. So let's go to, let's open the existing one. Let's open the create an event and just copy this stuff. And let's say a put, right? Let's do this. We're going to give it an ID, right? And yeah. So it's going to be this fella over here. Let's find it and let's make sure of it. So yeah, so event ID. So we're missing, so in our AJV schema here, we're actually missing a meetup ID as a URL parameter, right? This should also be kind of 201, right? Meetup event response schema. Sure, I guess, if that's what we want to return. I think this is unnecessary. I don't think we need to do this, honestly, do we? Let me think about it. No, not really. So let's just say there's no response. It's going to be an empty response, blah, blah, blah. That's great. And then let's go to this fellow over here. Meetup ID, event ID, that's correct. Request body. I don't think we need to re-reference that variable. That's useless, so get rid of that. Let's see here. So we try to find the actual events. If there isn't one, we return 404. Otherwise, we update. And then, so here I can just say code 201. And then, yeah, send the empty just response, right? All right, beautiful. And what I'm going to do, because right now my faker is kicking in stuff, let me just any particular reason? No, not really. I mean, we at one point will probably add TypeScript at one point in time. When this project becomes stable, then I'll sit for 1 or 2 streams and I'll just write it out, right? The reason is just TypeScript is not very great for prototyping and stuff like that, right? Because you have to not just fight with things that you don't know what you actually want to do. You also have to fight with types, right? But yeah, for sure. I mean, I use TypeScript at work, and most of my libraries that you can find on my GitHub, 10 years old, 15, they're written in TypeScript, right? So it's just TypeScript is not, it's not great for everything, right? Well, it is good. It is great, but it's not very useful when you are doing a project like this in a live stream when you are on the go in the moment deciding. I don't have a designer or a product manager or like the whole team that's gonna deliver something, right? Raps, good evening, my friend. Drav, good evening. But yeah, it's a great question, right? Exactly right. Like, because that's the beauty. That's the fortunate and unfortunate side of dynamically typed languages, right? in one way they're very convenient and beautiful in that way, and then of course like when you reach certain stage then they're no longer convenient because at that moment you do want some types, right, and stuff. But as I always say, if types were the thing that make your code look good, or if types were the thing that ensures that your code is good, then no C++ or Java or C# project would ever fail. They would all just be perfect, right? So as I always say, there's various places where you can make your code good or bad, and types are just one small fragment of it. That's like 3% of the problem, right? So your code can suck as much with types as it can suck without types, right? Pretty much, Luca. Exactly. That's what I do as well. So that's why I say, at one point, especially those types of things, right? Those are very generic. Those are very generic. So basically, so for me, there are two fundamental things. If you're writing unit test your business logic, right? Not write useless unit tests is like this endpoint should return this. That's not useful, right? And same goes with TypeScript. Right? TypeScript is incredibly useful when it's used in certain places where code is complicated, right? Like in here, TypeScript, if I add TypeScript, let's say, to those controllers, you know what's going to happen is going to be like fastify.request. It's going to be like fastify request, fastify response. This is going to be string, right? So it's not going to be that useful, right? Because when you look at this code, you already know the types, right? So, because it's very clear, right, what it is, right? I'm using DigitalOcean droplets to deploy a Linux machine, set up PM2 and Nginx, do you know? Well, the easier way is the cloud, right? So there's no, I mean, that's not hard what you're doing as well. It really boils down to what's easy for you and what's hard, right? I mean, I'm hosting the whole infrastructure for Programmer Network myself on Hetzner, right? I have 15 different services and they're working flawlessly, right? So basically like so you either go with the cloud, you kind of don't do infrastructure yourself, or you unfortunately then do it yourself, right? So PM2 is, you just need to execute that. Instead of node server, you say PM2, you specify how many processes you want to run of that instance, right? But yeah, there's, how would I say, there's no easy way. The easy way, if there is one, is the cloud, right? You go, you find some tutorial, you go to GCP, AWS, Azure, you click few buttons, you deploy some managed service, right? Well, I would say maybe I would say something slightly maybe different than Windward, right? I would say always try to use as less things as you can, right? Exactly like Alex says, right? I can tell you that the beauty is in simplicity, right? So only start, like for example, a lot of people say are talking about Kubernetes, right? A lot of people are talking about microservices. A lot of people are talking about a lot of things, right? But in most of those people don't have necessity to use any of those tools, right? So if you can avoid Kubernetes, avoid it. If you can avoid Doku or any services, avoid them, right? Sometimes for an early stage project, a simple Docker container, a simple Docker Compose or Docker Swarm or something like that is more than sufficient, right? You can even, I mean, Programmer Network is running on Docker Compose, which is not even suggested to be used in production, right? But who cares, right? So in simple words, my approach to things is try to make things as simple as you possibly can at all times. So instead of challenging yourself to add some redundant services that you don't actually need, try to not use it. So always ask in reverse, how can I not use this stuff, right? Because every single service you add a level of responsibility, a level of commitment, a level of, you add something that can fail, right? And anything that can will fail, right? Um, so keep things simple. That's the hardest thing, is to keep things simple, right? So if you can avoid to use something, avoid it at all cost, right? And that's how it is, right? That has been my approach past many years, and it has worked. It has served me really well. I have done, and I am doing really good in my career, and I think one of the reasons why is exactly that I keep things simple and cheap as well. And companies like cheap things. Okay, Mira, blah blah blah. User, yeah, okay. So let's grab this fella, this bad boy here. Cookie, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, instance path, age validation. Okay, great. So, and that's because, hey, we're not giving it anything to update, right? So let's try to update. So let's go to create event. Let's take this bad boy here. And let's try to update the title, for example, right? Yeah, okay. Well, technically the update, this should be a patch, right? This should rather be a patch than a put in a sense of what I expected to do, right? So technically, I don't think I should enforce any of those things really to so I think none of them are technically required, right? But I think that there should be obviously min lengths and stuff on it, right? And that will deal once we start doing the front end, hopefully in an hour from now, once we kind of get this, maybe less. And then because I've done a very good job in a sense of our validation and all of that security related stuff. Let's just say here, yeah. And pretty much we want to do the same here, right? So let's see if this guy is gonna yeah, if this guy, if Copilot is gonna, yeah, suggest us something, because this is generic stuff anyway. I don't want to type this out myself. Beautiful. Start date, end date, event type, yeah. Argument passed defined by primary key is invalid. Okay, fine, no problem. Let's go back here. Update. I mean, yeah, honestly, as I said before, anything that can make you more productive, get it right. And as you saw now, right, the main reason why I love AI is not really that I need much help of it telling me what to do and how to do it. What it truly helps me with, as you can see in my streams, is that it automates a lot of stuff, right? So you saw now 2 seconds ago, right? Exactly. You saw that it generated this generic text for me, right? Like if I didn't have this, I would have to come here and say description, and I would make a typo. Then I would be like should be at. Then I would probably make a grammar type like. So for this sort of stuff, it's so brilliant that I have no words to. I'm actually very grateful in a way that it exists, right? Because now I can actually focus on building stuff instead of wasting time on writing code, right? In that sense, meetup ID. Wait, am I looking at the right thing? I am. Meetup ID, event ID. Give me a second. Create an event. Oh, no. So that's actually okay. Argument passed defined by primary key is invalid. Ah, this is because this should be find one, right? So that technically worked, right? But let's see what actually happens. So if I find the events, so yeah, here it is, right? So you can see we did manage to update this, right? No need to be scared. Honestly, it's just evolution of our job, right? As long as you're using it yourself as well, you shouldn't be scared. I think only people who should be scared are those who are kind of fakely sentimental. I don't want to use it, you know. I'm never gonna use it. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You will use it. I'm concerned that irresponsible devs, well, I mean, irresponsible devs have been copy pasting code from the internet for 25 years, right? So I don't think that ChatGPT has much to do with that, right? Stack Overflow exists for way longer than ChatGPT, and all of us, including yourself, have copied code from there, right? Million times. So let's not pretend that you're not copy pasting code. You are. I am, and all of us are, right? Let's not try to represent ourselves as some sort of idealists, right? Because none of us are. Let's face it. If there wasn't Stack Overflow, half of us wouldn't have jobs, right? So let's be honest in that sense, right? Okay. Okay, that's great. Actually, I got an invite for that. Actually, fuck, let's take a look at that together. They actually invited me to that. I forgot. Wait, I got an early access to that. Give me a moment. I was at work. You're in. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I know. They invited me, right? They invited me to that. I got access already. I was just at work, so I couldn't check it out. Let's check it out together. Together. Let's check it out together. Wait a minute. So you are in. Thank you for your interest in Stack Overflow Labs. We'll use this email to keep you updated around what you're. Wait a minute. Am I in? Like, what does this mean? I'm in. Like, I'm into where, right? Like, what is this? Sign up, get previews and early access to our public features. Okay, I guess it's this one, right? Did I sign up with my programmer network email? I did. Okay. I'm confused. Like, did I get early access or did I not, right? Because they said that I'm into something. What am I in? Yeah, that's not. I mean, it's certainly not a choice, right? So I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, I'm a huge realist, right? I'm not pessimist, optimist. I just hate bullshit, right? Like, it's clear that AI is here, and it's clear that everybody has access, and those people who use it are gonna have advantage over others. That's literally how it is. It's not a matter. You can be sentimental, idealist, this that. Nobody cares, man. No, world doesn't give a shit about my values or yours, right? World moves forwards, not backwards, and if you don't use it, you're gonna fall back, right? So all of this garbage discussion, is it sentiment? Is it this? Who cares, man? Like, I have to survive in this world, and this world doesn't spin around me, right? It doesn't care what I feel, what I think, what my opinion is. Like, how they say your opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, right? So it's like world doesn't stop when I disagree with it, right? So in a way, it's like AI is here. I will use it because I want to have a job. It's as simple as that. I'm not privileged enough to choose too much, right? Like, oh, yeah, well, I'm not gonna use it, it goes against my values, right? Who cares about your values, man? Nobody. I mean, calculators. I often show this image on my stream, right? People were, remember this. Teachers were against the calculators when they came out as well, right? Right? Math teachers protest against calculator use. So those people who complain about anything that comes out, they are those types of people, right? Exactly, man. Whatever. As long as we can focus on building products and not writing code, that's great, right? That should be the ultimate goal for sure. 100% agree. 100% agree, right? Create an event, update the event. Did we sheet create an event, update the event? Yeah, so I guess we need the next one. So we're gonna do two more and then let's start building the actual UI, right? So let's do the get events. I think it's gonna definitely change a lot of things in the world, right? For sure. Some things for better, some things for worse, of course, like everything else, right? That's how it is, right? It's not gonna be all great, you know. You always have people who misuse things for, unfortunately, right? That's how it is. Yeah. I'm not sure what do you mean. I'm using different virtual desktops, right? I'm switching between different virtual desktops, right? So that's how, and actually this shouldn't even be showing, right? This should be hidden. All right, let's try to hit this, and creator is required. Okay, that's funny. Let's take a look at that fella. So let's say get events. Where's this get events? Oh, get all events. Okay, I don't like that name, right? I don't like that name. Let's just say get events. And let's go to the router. Let's replace this. Oops. And then let's get over here. Okay, so we are expecting to get the actual creator attendees and stuff. Yeah, okay. So we need to do the joins, right? So that's what we're not doing there. That's why it's complaining, right? So if we go to get events, right, we're not doing really. No, that's not what I want, right? So we want user, right? And then there's attendees, right? This thing, yeah, I don't actually know how this is gonna work, right? I don't think this will, in fact, work at all. What am I working today? I'm just, so Chica, I'm building a meetup.com functionality for programmer network so you can organize physical or virtual meetups, and I'm building the backend past those streams. So yesterday and today we built most of the API. Well, I think it's fair to say most of the API, but yeah, but we're doing that now, and then we're gonna move and build the UI, right? No, not at all. No, it's for like I don't know. I mean, I've used Meetup.com for more than a decade, right? So like, I used to organize a JavaScript meetup here in Copenhagen. So it's basically just like, for example, if I say Copenhagen, right? And I don't know, I say let's say JavaScript, right? Because I'm gonna resume this event that I used to organize. I'm gonna resume it in September. So by September, I need to have this feature fully finished, because once I start organizing the meetup here in Copenhagen again, I will ask people to sign up on Programmer Network, right? So 25 gold. Good evening, buddy. So it's this, but hopefully we're gonna make it nicer and stuff, right? But it's something like this, and then you can sign up. There are probably some pictures here when I was organizing this as well. Never mind. Okay. Add events, get events, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what did I want to do? Yeah, get events. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't care about that. Well, it doesn't matter. We're going to do both of them, right? But wait a minute. So this is a singular one. Where is it? Where is the events? Did we like remove something or some shit? Oh, yeah, exactly. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes. Yeah, I think that's the issue with chat, isn't it? Right. I'm reading what you guys are saying and stuff. Okay. So this actually did work. Beautiful. Okay. I'm using Fastify for my API, and Fastify has a Swagger plugin, and the Swagger plugin is utilizing all of my JSON validation schemas for it. So it's free for me. Every time I add validation in my controllers, I get this for free. So I don't write anything manually. I get this as a side effect of the technology that I'm using, basically. So the way that it works, in Fastify, you're validating all of your input and output using another JSON validation schema called AJV, right? It's a C++ thing. Luca, thank you very much, man. Enjoy your night. Thank you for coming as always, man. Very much appreciated. Thanks a lot, man. And then let's implement one more and then maybe move to the UI. I don't know. Let's see how we feel. So let's go to Postman and let's say, and thank you everybody for your follows and all of that stuff. Appreciate it. Let's say here, get events. And yeah, it's gonna be the same pretty much, right? It's gonna be like this, more or less. Just we're gonna give it an ID, right? And yeah, yeah. So if we go to the controller and we find get event by ID, I guess. Well, perks are, I think, very evident if you go and read the documentation. But it's well, when you say what are the perks relative to what, right? There's nothing better right now in Node.js community than Fastify, right? But you also like if you kind of can provide a bit, what are the perks relative to what? But perks are various, right? It's microservice first. It's based on encapsulated plugins. It has a beautiful hook system, has a beautiful validation. It's opinionated in places where it should be. Comes with like a super fast logger, Pino logger written in C, I believe, or C++. So there are many perks, right? There's absolutely nothing more efficient and more clean in the Node.js community today than Fastify. And I'm happy to argue that with anyone, if anyone has the doubt about that. All right. Okay, beautiful. So it does work. Okay, great. Let me just check one thing before we move from here. So get event. And sorry, 25 goal. Wait, let me read your question again. So sorry, 25. Hello, Master Alex. I'm having a problem right now with cookies, even after I delete the cookie from the user's backend. The browser. Well, the browser stores the cookie irrespectful of your backend, right? Like, you have cleared your cookie maybe from your session or from some storage where you're storing it, but you have to clear the cookie in the browser as well, right? The cookie is stored, well, in the cookie storage in the browser, right? So you have to remove the cookie, so when a user logs out, let's imagine we're talking about logging out, you have to remove that session from memory, and then you also have to clear the cookie from the UI. Now, if it's an HTTP only cookie, for instance, then you have to instruct your API to clear the cookie, right? Because HTTP only cookie, you cannot use JavaScript to deal with it, right? You cannot access HTTP only cookie with JavaScript, which is Well, you can also, like, if we take a look at the logout here, even though I'm not using cookies, I'm using JSON Web Tokens, right? But I am storing them in HTTP only cookie, right? So if we take a look here at the logout for me, right? Well, so essentially, right, in that case, you're gonna have to do pretty much something like this. You're gonna have to clear the cookie, right? But there's one fundamental thing, right? You have to also, in my case, because I'm using JSON Web Tokens, I have to blacklist the JSON Web Token, right? Because JSON Web Token is stateless, right? So in a way, the token, no matter you get, so the difference between the cookie or session-based authentication and let's say JSON Web Tokens is that JSON Web Token has expiry date, and it's only going to be invalid once that expiry date expires, right? So in my case, when you log out at Programmer Network, what I have to do, I can't invalidate it in any way except store it to some blacklist. And in my case, I store it into Redis, right? So when you log out in Programmer Network, I store the token in Redis and I blacklist it. And then when you're logging in or whatever, I check, or when you try to do a new request, right, I'm checking if it's blacklisted, right? So for example, like if I show you, where is it? Yeah, so here it is, check token blacklist. I mean, there's no point in it, right? It's just another hash of string, right? That's stateless, right? I don't think that's the point. No, it can be used in different ways, right? And that's certainly not why it exists, because you can have a refresh token, right? The reason why it exists is, and the reason why you want to use stateless authentication in general is because it's way easier to scale, right? Because, for example, if 25 Gold is using, let's say, session-based authentication, he needs a memory stored just centralized somewhere or lifted above if he wants to run multiple nodejs nodes or whatever, right? AMX, good evening, my friend. I would have to see 25 Gold. It's hard to say, right? You have to, yeah, if they're in different domain, then you also have different other properties set on your cookie, right? So it's hard for me to say now. And honestly, my brain is right now into this a bit, so I'm having hard time focusing on that. But I'm happy to help, man. Get event, get the epic. Okay. My pleasure, man. Just fight it, right? You're doing something, probably some silly thing somewhere. CarX, good evening, buddy. Long time no see. All right, great. So I think at this point we probably have enough to start building some UI. Maybe let me see. So we can create a meetup, we can join a meetup, we can update the meetup, right? Blah blah blah. I'm doing very good, my friend. How are you doing? How's life? How's everything on your end? I think the only thing that we didn't do, kinda, I mean, there's gonna be more stuff to do, of course, is this additional junction table called meetup event organizers, right? Because when you organize a meetup, you're gonna be able to invite multiple different users to help you organize it, right? But we don't have to do this now. It would be a bit premature. We have a lot of UI to build and stuff, so we don't have to worry much about that yet, right? So the question now is, should we or should we not start building some UI for this, right? Yeah, man, we're going on. Tomorrow is my last day of work. Then I'm 3 weeks of vacation, so I can't wait, man. Can't wait. Can't wait, my dude. All right, so let's start some UI. Let's just get our hands dirty with that as well, right? we're gonna go to the Balkans, to Serbia, to visit our family for a couple of days, and then we're gonna go to some places. Yeah, Obi, good evening. But for us, since we live abroad, families every year we first visit family. My parents, and so they can be with my kid, and stuff like that. And then, yeah, yeah, for sure, meetups. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, the thing is, right? Like, a year is a very long thing, right? So, it is great indeed. Don't take me wrong. It's just sometimes, when you live abroad and then you go to the kind of country where you grew up, a lot of people have expectations, to meet you, to spend time, and then sometimes you wonder, are you on vacation, right? Or, you know, or somewhere else. So it has a lot of positive, but also has some annoying things as well, for sure, right? All right, cool. Okay, so we're starting now the UI part, right? Exactly, man. Exactly. For the most part, that's kind of annoying. Exactly. Exactly that. All right, so we're gonna start now building a bit of user interface for this new feature, right? And we're gonna get inspired by those guys, right? This is the oldest meetup kind of platform that exists. So we're gonna try to get inspired a bit by this. La la la. Okay, let's go to. So this is gonna take us a couple of streams to build, but I mean, we should be humble. It's still impressive that we can do it in a couple of streams only. All right. So what did I want? I'm looking for something. Business, no. Infrastructure, no. Where is that thing? Man, where was that crap, dude? Ah, here it is. Here it is. I think I saw the icon somewhere. Did I not? Dev. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm not actually impressed, honestly. I thought it'd be a bit more stuff. Social distancing. Are you kidding me, right? Yeah, we should probably use this for developer platforms. Social distancing. That's what we're great at. Social distancing. Beautiful. What else should we try? Event. I guess I tried looking for that already. Um, events. All right, who cares? So let's not get lost in those details. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I like this. I like this calendar thing. Why not? Source assets, images, SVG, new file, calendar, SVG. Oh, we already have a calendar. Let's call this calendar 2. Let's clean this crap up. Let's convert it into a React component. Yep. Oops. Why am I not getting any import? Good evening, buddy. How's life? Calendar 2. Didn't we? Yeah, I actually did build it. Okay. So let's kind of go a bit here and see what has happened so far, and let's start with some Tailwind here, right? Let's give this fella like this would be 16 by 4, 60, 64, right? All right. This would be 80 pixels, right? Yeah, great. Let's say here's something like text to Excel. No, text for Excel. I'm just getting inspired by those fellas over here. Where is it? Yeah. Text 6 Excel. Yeah. The only kind of thing that sucks is, oops, is this fella here. Good evening. We are actually programming. Yeah, we're definitely there. I'm just there isn't much chat or conflicting subjects or complicated subjects, so I can just ignore you guys being quiet and letting me code. It's super nice when you guys just shut up a bit. It's beautiful. I love it. It's great. And what's up, Big Shot? How you doing, man? How's life? How is life serving you? I'm always very happy when you send a message, man. You've been sticking around for so long that my heart is always shut the fuck up. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, of course. Somebody had to say it, right? Somebody had to say it, right? Nice, man. Nice. Ouch. Not my intention. Never mind, okay. Interesting. That's a bit awkward, okay. Interesting. All right, beautiful. We're just setting up some scaffolding here, right? So we're not worrying too much about copy and stuff. We just want to kind of get something, right? And then here, for start, we're gonna have a list of existing meetups, whatever. Yeah. This is cranberries. This is best of cranberries, right? I don't know if I can share this from YouTube. All right, beautiful. Song before this one was Zombie. Jesus Christ, man. Query and body are two different concepts, right? And they're used in different for different purposes, right? You want to use the query, right? When you want to build an API that's flexible, right? So you want to build an endpoint that's very flexible to input. So you say I want to so say that you build an endpoint / users, and then you want to add query parameters, right? Where you can filter users by say name and then whatever else and whatever age, right? So query parameters are mostly used and always used, in fact, for reading, not for sending data to store it, right? So that's number one. Generally, you send the data in the post request when you're creating or updating things. So this is by the spec itself, right? So So if you want to use query parameters, you use them to kind of make the endpoint itself more flexible to input, right? So you say, hey, slash users, and then I can filter here by a bunch of different things, right? So generally, yeah, if you're creating things or updating things, use body. If you're reading things and you want to extend your, I don't like GraphQL. I'm not a fan of GraphQL, and I used GraphQL the day when it came out, and I'm not a fan of it. And I'm not a fan of it is because it adds unnecessary complexity for the value that it's, for me, not sufficient to use it, right? Because GraphQL isn't magic, right? You have to add another abstraction of complexity on top of your database for it to work, right? And I don't like adding complexity. Your client shouldn't be sending things like soft delete, right? you certainly don't want to allow the user to choose to send things like soft delete as a parameter, right? You definitely don't want to do that, right? You don't want the clients to be sending stuff like that, right? When you want to delete an object, you generally do that by the ID or some compound set of keys. So you don't use body for that, and you generally use URL parameters for that, right? So when you want to delete a book, you say /book/1, and this one is an ID, or if it's a UUID 4, then it's going to be a string that's composed of a string composed of characters like this, right? But I wouldn't worry too much about that now, right? The query param shouldn't decide anything. Again, those are just different ways to pass the input to your endpoint. Query parameters exist simply to allow you to build an endpoint in such a way where you have more fine-grained filtering capabilities, right? So like I said, if you say /books/ whatever, you say book/title, right? You can do this. Then you can say year, right? So those are the circumstances in which you would generally use query parameters, just to extend a specific endpoint with certain properties and to filter it in such a way. You don't have to do this, of course. You can still do it with the body. So again, there's a way that's specified in the official spec, OpenSpec API, right? But you don't have to adhere to that spec. So that's why I would just say just build things, and then over time, over the years, you're gonna get a feeling what feels better, what feels worse. So I wouldn't worry too much about this, right? If you're new to the backend, if you're new to generally APIs, just send data in any way you find working at the given time, right? And then over time, you're gonna learn that better, right? So send it either to the body, to the URL parameters, query parameters, send it however you want, right? And then once you kind of learn a little bit about HTTP, about the actual spec as well, then you're gonna adjust, right? So don't worry too much about this, and don't waste too much time with this, right? My pleasure, man. Just build things, right? There's nothing better. There's nothing that's gonna teach you better than building things, right? So don't waste too much. Don't spend too much time with the details. You don't have to understand every single thing as you go. It's not that you don't have to. You will not understand it anyway, right? So sooner you realize that yourself and stop pretending. So just keep building things, mix up bottom up, top down approach of learning. Sometimes you're gonna get ahead of yourself, you're gonna go back a bit, but you just want to build things, right? And find some way where you find a balance between different types of learning. Yeah. MSR, thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's again, all of them are just input. And Lagoza, good evening, buddy. So for sure. Okay, so let's get inspired a bit here. So what do they do here? So they have a search right here, search events, and then here they have this thing, right? We'll also have to kind of make some of those filters location based and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's just scaffold something. We're gonna start connecting this with our the API that we've just built for this, right? We're gonna have something like this here. We're gonna have, I guess, something like this. And then we're gonna break this into something once we start connecting and making sure this all works, right? So this is gonna be, I don't know actually how to, yeah, maybe let's not start with a search. Let's actually get rid of this as well, right? So we're just gonna have a list of meetups, I'm sure, right? And we'll see how they're gonna be categorized and stuff. I don't know yet. It's too premature, right? But let's just say here, upcoming meetups. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's see what a Copilot generates for me. I have no idea what is it doing, honestly. I mean, I don't know what is it generating, right? And it just stopped. Did it just stop? Yeah. Okay. Ah, that's funny. All right, never mind. Let's just let's generate something ourselves. Okay, actually no. Let's start connecting this with the API, right? And then we're gonna see, right? Even though at this we're gonna have to build our dashboard under the dashboard and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff. So maybe we should just scaffold the stuff first, right? So let's take a look at our API. Let's actually get the Bootstrap and Tailwind are completely two different things, right? They're not comparable. It's like comparing apples and oranges, right? Tailwind is a CSS utility library. Bootstrap is a opinionated framework that comes with components and JavaScript and logic and stuff like that, right? So they're fundamentally two different things, right? But Bootstrap is very old. I remember I was building websites with Bootstrap literally 15 years ago, maybe. Bootstrap is probably one of the oldest CSS frameworks out there. Very, very old, like super old. But again, not comparable, right? They're vastly different. Very different, very different. Very different. All of the stuff that you see on Programmer Network, if you actually went and signed up, this is built by me. So I'm not using any URL library. I just use Tailwind, which is, again, just a CSS utility library. It's not opinionated, right? I mean, opinions are irrelevant, right? I mean, Bootstrap is very, very popular thing, and what other people think is irrelevant, right? You should always be driven by what you think and how you like it, right? I mean, I know that a lot of you fellas here, not all of you, but many of you are very young and you're very prone to influence, outside influence. Again, like try using something, and if you like it, then just use it, right? It doesn't matter what others think, right? Bootstrap is very popular, and it has been used by major companies past 10, 15 years, right? And if you like it and if it solves the problem for you, beautiful. Just use it, right? What people think is irrelevant, right? Who cares what people think? People think all sorts of things, right? Nobody cares. Tailwind is amazing, right? Tailwind is the closest thing, of writing proper CSS. I remember writing CSS when none of those things existed, and that's how we used to write CSS. We would build our own little CSS utilities and stuff. So once you start using Tailwind, it's very hard to stop using it, right? Because it's very natural. It's a natural way to write CSS. There's no more natural way to write CSS than Tailwind. There just isn't, right? All right, beautiful. Is my API still running? Let's see. All right, let's get back here, obviously. So let's see, v1 meetups API get, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see about that. This should be the meetups actually will load, but let's see, are we actually hitting the endpoint or not? Let's XHR it. Meetups, okay. Not found. All right, great. API v1 meetups, okay. If we go to Swagger, or shit, we probably didn't implement that one. Yeah. So let's go back to the API. Maybe we didn't implement get meetups, right? Or at least let's see, controller get events. Probably we didn't, right? Get all meetups, right? Get me. Yeah. So let's implement this thing, right? Just very quickly. We're gonna say get meetups, right? It's gonna be almost the same. We're gonna include the creator. We'll see. I mean, we're gonna optimize those queries eventually, right? This is find all meetups. Feels very strange, right? Ah. Meetup. Thank you everybody for your follows. Very much appreciated. Where is it? Meetup. Yeah, get meetups. Okay, that seems correct. Let's see. Actually, did we nail it already? Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. So we are getting the meetups in the UI now. That's super. All right, so let's get over here. Yeah, and then let's take a look at this. Actually, I can just do it like this, right? Yeah, all right, beautiful. So here they are. So let's just set them in state. So set meetups is going to be data, right? Beautiful. And then if we get down here, right here, we're going to eventually, we're going to clean this up in another stream once we get there. We don't actually care now about it, right? But for now, we're just going to say meetups.map and then a meetup, right? And then we're going to return some div for now. We don't care, right, how it looks like. Let's just, right? We're going to say key. What are we getting back? We are getting ID, right? Beautiful. Let's just say here ID. So we're gonna eventually design some card for this, right? Whatever. I think we already have some in some other places, but let's say we'll see what we have. We have members title and description, right? So let's say here h1 title and title. Let's the structure here in place, and then we're gonna say paragraph. This, oops, description, right? Yeah. All right, cool. So we should be seeing two of them now, and we do, right? Here they are, right? Beautiful. Okay. So of course now we could make this a grid or something like that. So we can say grid calls 3, whatever, right? Gap 4, I don't know. Yes. Let's add some class names just so we can see what's happening. So let's say border primary. Yeah. Let's say border primary text color. Yeah. Let's say P2. Yes, beautiful. Let's give this fella something. Let's say text LG text. Oops. No, that's actually fine. Okay, great. So we can see them now. That's what matters, right? One thing that I don't like though, border BG something, BG, no. Border primary background, right? Color, no. Okay, never mind. Let's leave it like that. Again, we're not yet at the place where we care too much about how things look like. We're not there yet. All right, beautiful. Great. Okay, so I guess when we release this feature in a couple of days or weeks, once it's all finished, we'll probably aggregate all the meetups on this landing page here because there's not going to be many, I guess, or none. That I know that in September I'm going to be organizing a JavaScript meetup here in Copenhagen, so there's going to be mine here for sure. But so yeah, we're not going to be doing any crazy filtering for the version 1 because again, maybe never this is going to be used, right? So we'll see. Yeah. Okay. So next thing obviously is going to be when we implement that is that you can open a single meetup, right? And I think yeah. So I think what we're gonna be doing actually. So it's gonna be /meetups, and I think the meetup name, right? So instead of meetup ID, it's gonna be like meetup name or something, right? We just for the URLs, just for Google to kind of understand those things a bit better. Okay, great. Well, let's wrap this fella here in a nav link, right? And it's gonna be 2, right? It's gonna be /meetups/ give me a second. But take a look at meetups here. What do we have? We have the title, right? So we would have to make the title unique, right? Or make part of it unique and then create some sort of hash for the rest of it, right? So we can say something and then, yeah. Or slugify it somehow, whatever. But then that adds complexity. When we slugify, then when you edit something, we need to re-slugify it and stuff. So I would much rather avoid that for now, right? So we could use the ID. So we could kind of use some sort of a compound title basically for the URL, right? So we could use the ID plus the title to actually show it, right? So it could be something like meetup, then, you know, ID dash, or something like title and then dash, right? The ID. This would always ensure uniqueness because the ID is always going to be unique, right? Because it's incremented by Postgres, right? Yeah. So something like that. We'll see, right? We'll see in a moment. So this should be now linkable, right? And if we click, it's going to open basically nothing, right? Yeah, I know. I'm using it already. But just not the Ninja, just something else. But yeah, here it is, right? I can do this, right? And I can clean them up basically in one command, right? So see. All right, cool. So we have this crap, meetups, and then meetup, whatever, right? Okay, great. So let's create another view, right? So we need, if we go to the app now, we have to create a view to open up a single meetup, right? So it's going to be here. Yeah, it's going to be, let's just call this meetup ID. And then, yeah, let's go to the views again, right? And yeah, as you may assume, right, we're going to literally duplicate this stuff and we can just call it a meetup, right? We're going to get rid of all of this crap, right? We'll eventually have get meetup in here, so we're not gonna fully remove this. We'll need this. And here we're gonna have probably like some sort of meetup ID. So it's gonna be ID, meetup ID, meetup title. So I'll just prepare that now. Right, beautiful. And is it the location where we get it from? I guess it is, right? No. Is it params? I guess it's params. I don't remember why they, yeah. Then here we're gonna actually get those. So we're gonna get those things from the params, right? But we might get it as a single thing, so it's okay. And then we can, yeah. Fuck, we'll see. Okay, const use params. And then here we're gonna have a meetup ID. Right? Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much that. Yeah. Shit. Yeah, pretty much, yes. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. That's not the point. Okay. So let's just see, does the route work actually? Can I click or can I not? It doesn't seem so, no. Let's go back to the app. Ah, it's because we didn't update this. Sure. This should be basically meetup, right? Beautiful. Great. Okay, great. So we can see that it actually works. Well, we end up there, right? So meetups. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, and now obviously this is failing because yeah, we're not. It's not a proper URL, right? The endpoint itself. So let's get back here. This should be v1 meetups meetup ID. No, actually, it is correct. No, it is correct. It's just yeah, the ID is incorrect, right? So for now, right, let's just yeah, let's just do this properly, right? It's okay. So if I go back here, I'm just gonna say that this is the ID, and then we're gonna make those IDs more SEO friendly and more user friendly, right? Because right now we're getting back the request because our API is expecting an integer, whatever. So you can see now we're actually, and now it's working and we're getting it. Of course, we don't need to do this in this context because if you come from this page, we don't have the refetch, right? So we can use the HTML5 history API and carry over the thing, right? So we can use the state over here, right? And I can say meetup, right? And I can then say, actually, yeah, let's improve this a bit. So let's not implicitly return, let's explicitly return here. And then here, let's not destructure as well. Let's just say a meetup, and then I'll destructure here, right? And then, yeah, I'll just pass the meetup here with through HTML5 history state. So now if I actually get over here, right? So now over here, I think if we, I think we can get this from the location, right? I think it is location. So if I say const or history, no, sorry, it's history is use history, right? If I remember, I don't know if you're on the version of the React router that still has this hook. Let me see, use history. Yeah, unstable history router, no. So maybe use location or use navigate. Ooh, I don't remember. Okay. Let's see where we can access the HTML5 history because it used to be on the history router, but I don't remember anymore, right? So let's see. And I'm going to answer the question in 2 seconds. Yeah, here is the state actually, so it's good. So here is the state.meetup. Okay. So what we can do here to not do this extra HTTP request, so in simple words, what we can do to optimize this, right, is so we can say something like this. We can say we can pass location dot state, right? And here we can say if location dot state dot meetup, right? So if it exists, then return, right? Don't fetch this from the API because you do have the meetup already, right? Whatsoever, let's just say here, set meetup and then meetup, right? So now, for example, you'll notice if we did this properly, right, is that if we go to the network now and I click here, we shouldn't be calling it. And we're not calling it, right? But you can see that we're still getting the data passed there, right? So that's great, right? So and now if I refresh, obviously, right? So if I actually open this in a new route in a new tab, because the history HTML5 history state is going to be empty, we will be actually fetching this from the API. So this optimization, well, actually now we messed something up, right? But we will, yeah, exactly, right? Let's see. Yeah, so we need the conditional operator, right? So that's why, because the state is probably null or something. So we need to do this, right? All right, if we refresh this now, it should be working, right? You see we're actually fetching it. But if I just go to meetups now again, and I click on, let's say, this one, you'll see we're not actually fetching it because we are passing it through the state. Okay, let me read a question. Right, that's a super important question. It's new laptop time. Do I do the yellow route MacBook or the? I don't understand why. How could you call evil route a MacBook? MacBook is like 500 million times better than any Linux garbage, right? I'm not sure where do you get those ideas from. Genuinely, like comparing Linux to Mac OS and MacBook is like comparing Honda to I don't even know the comparison, right? Like I don't genuinely get it. Anyway, all right, let's go back here. Let me just access my database here very quickly. Let's go to meetups. Let's give those. Let's change those. Let's update those names a bit, right? Because the names are now the same, so it's very hard for us to kind of. So let's increase. Shut up, man. Okay, let's update this. Let's update description of it. All right. Postgres and Redis. All right, great. So now we can actually see they're distinct. Okay. Wait, give me a second. Okay, great. So we're scaffolding stuff. So we're slowly but surely scaffolding this and calling the endpoints and stuff. So now we can actually get to a single meetup, and then yeah, we'll see in a moment. Yeah. This one, this is an extension. It's called it's this one. Why is it not going to the website though? Yes, super awkward. Why is it not? My pleasure. It's called PostgreSQL. All right, great. Let me just think a bit. So again, we're not going to be doing any UI now and making things pretty and stuff. So we just want to connect things with the API and stuff, and then we're gonna go crazy eventually, making things look good. Let me just see how they're doing it. So this is some sort of a group, and then there's events of that group. I see. Okay. Then there's members. I see. Okay. I see. Okay. So probably gonna embrace the similar layout as that, right? Okay. Let's play with that a bit. Again, FYI, it's this stream. We're not gonna be going crazy with making things look good. You can just type exclamation mark stack, and it's gonna tell you all that pretty much. There it is. Somebody's advertising me. Thanks. You guys asked me to put another picture, so I did. Stop complaining now. Oh, Alex, you should change your profile picture there. Oh, Alex, why didn't you change your profile picture ever? There you go. So we're gonna kind of get to the point eventually. We're gonna allow also some cover image for and stuff like that. Okay, it's just Diana Jones, exactly. About, so yeah, about, what is it about? Yeah, okay, I get this, yeah. Members, photos, discussions. Yeah, something like this I like, right? So you click on a meetup, wait, you click on a meetup, takes you there. You should be able to join that meetup somewhere, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's keep on just slamming stuff randomly. Well, semi-randomly. Meetup.description, right? Let's wrap this into header, right? Or something. Give me 1 second, just 1 moment. So creator, so I have the creator, but so yeah, eventually we're gonna have the organizers, but let's keep this simple. So it's a first version, right? So let's imagine that in the first version, we only gonna support one organizer, right? So, and didn't I build that somewhere? I think if we go to the courses feature that I haven't yet built a single course for, is it seriously broken? Are you kidding me? That's a bummer. Yeah. Oh yeah. I messed it up. Yeah, this is due to my local changes. All right. But I think if I go to, it's actually good to see that. So if I go to the course view, right? Didn't I have some sort of author card or of some sort? Like, give me a second. A button, dashboard. No. It's not this thing. It's not this thing. Wait, it's not dashboard. It's courses. No. Course details. Yeah, it was this thing, right? And then here I had some author stuff somewhere, right? Yeah, courses do work in production. It's just I have like, I don't know, like shit tons of pending changes locally because I changed some stuff. So I'll need to make sure, yeah, now as I'm building the models and stuff, I refactored some of the model stuff, right? So now all the associations with all the models are done on the level of the model itself, right? So you can see. So this is why, for example, model, user model, and then all the associations are kind of now done here. So each table has associations now there. This was pretty clever. I was very happy, but it took me maybe 2 hours to figure it out. But I had a, yeah, whatever. Like, it's actually just, I'm talking to myself. All right, meetup 1. Okay, so let's get back to this. I'm pretty sure I had an author card somewhere. Course details, course landing page. Oh, actually, that's a good point. So if production works, oops, yeah, shit, there's no core. Oh my God, okay. All right, let me just, yeah, actually, okay. So let me just publish this course for a second. Yeah, it's author card. Okay, I see. All right. Well, let's not do that then yet there, because yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say here, thank you very much everybody for your follows and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna say here, or I'm gonna say here, thank you guys very much. I'm gonna say organizers, right? And just for now, I'm gonna say meetup dot, yeah, so that's a bummer. So we don't have the, so, but I'm just gonna say meetup dot organizer, sorry, meetup dot creator dot name or whatever. Let's just check it out. Ah, Jesus Christ. Wait, meetup. Wait. Again, we're not doing the styling now. We're just connecting stuff. Creator. So it's creator. Okay, so yeah, that's a bummer. Give me a second. So what we gonna, let's go back to the API. Let's get here. Let's go to get meetups, and here where we are doing the creator. Okay, so let's go now to the router. No, actually to the schemas and somewhere. Yeah. So here, let's just include a few more things, right? So I'm gonna say creator. It's gonna include first name, last name, first name, last name, and username. So that's fine. Fireball, good evening, buddy. And oh yeah. All right, good. So now if I actually go back here, we should have those properties, right? As part of the meetups and the creator. Yeah, first name, last name, beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, what happened here? Okay. Ah, I see. I see. All good. So here we can say, didn't I at one point in time implement some sort of a method for this that's called get display name? Yeah, I did, right? And what was it taking? It was taking. Yeah, sure. Okay. So I'll just give it a meetup.creator, right? And let's, yeah. Let's call it like this. Shit. Let's give it this fella here. So that should now technically work. And yeah, I can see I'm the organizer now, so that's great. And then obviously, like, we want everything to be interlinked in this platform, right? So clearly we want to go to / username, right? So meetup.creator.username, right? So if I click this, it should take me to my profile. Beautiful. Okay. That's great. Even though, yeah, this component doesn't. Interesting. Thank you very much, man. I'm very happy you like it, man. I mean, to some degree, yeah. I agree, and that's why I'm also coming back, right? I do this for fun, and as long as it's fun, right? It's all that matters, right? I see. So the meetup itself seems to be. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, this is location. Okay. Thank you very much, dude. Thanks a lot for saying that. No, they're not self-made. Of course not. They are. It's a service. Let me share it with you. It's this one. So meetup is an array. How come? How come it's an array? Wait a minute. Oh. I know how, right? So this is the default state of this is wrong, right? The meetup should be an object in this case, not an array, right? Yeah, but that's a bit awkward, isn't it, right? So why would this should never be empty, right? So let's figure this out. Why is this empty, right? I mean, what's up with the state? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. I know what the problem is, right? Okay. The problem is this. So let's yeah, I see. Okay. So I mean, we'll refactor. Well, not refactor. We'll improve this eventually, right? But It's because of the loading state, right? Even though this is asynchronous, right? So this is not going to really work properly, will it? Yeah, exactly. So let's kind of do this a bit different then, right? So all right, you know what we're gonna do? Just to simplify this for now, we're just gonna not cache anything because it's just, but it's still kind of failing. So that's super awkward. Let's see why. And actually, it's because of this, right? So this should be set to true, right? So that's the problem, right? The default state there was wrong, right? And because of that, right, we would pass this loading initially, and then this would explode, right? So that's actually the problem, right? So this has to be set to true, right? Because we can't allow it to ever pass this while the meetup is empty object or undefined or whatever it is, right? And now actually the issue is, right, the loading, right? So here now we have to say, hey, right, okay, cool. But where are we gonna keep this text and stuff? How is it gonna look like? I have no idea, right? We'll see eventually. Like, again, we're not dealing with UX and UI. Those are the ultimate challenges. Everything else is just a matter of technicalities, right? So let's get okay. Location. And I didn't basically add many properties here in the meetup table, right? Mainly because we're going to see, because meetup itself is just a parent entity of the events. So I don't essentially want the meetup to be associated to a physical or virtual space, because you can create a meetup and then 10 different people in 10 different countries can organize that meetup. So that's why the meetup itself doesn't have many properties, even though it does have the location. I think that's wrong. But then the event that you organize off of that meetup, right, has more properties. So as you can see, it has the description, title, start date, end date, created, and we're gonna need more stuff here. So this is not sufficient, right? But we'll see, right? So let's keep things simple. Okay. And then yeah. So I guess I'm using Postgres. Yes. So yeah, so when you get to the landing page kind of a meetup, then you should see what this meetup is about, blah blah blah. Who are the members? How many tables do I have? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't count that, right? I mean, we can see, but I don't know how many tables. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28 tables, 27. Okay. It's going to be a lot more tables than that for sure. I mean, we have to build a lot of features, and we will, right? So, you know, all of this we're going to build, right? We're going to build the projects, courses, podcasts, meetups, organizations, companies, right? Motherfuckers, there's a number here. Fucking assholes, man. All right. Yes, just laugh in my face. All right. That's cool, right? Yeah, just do it. Just do it, assholes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's not tell him that there's a number there that says 27. Bastards. Imagine I had 68 and you would still let me count. 43, 44, 45, 50, fuck, which one? Okay, 1, 2. No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man. Okay, so yeah, going back to this. So you visit a meetup. We're probably gonna have some tabs actually right there. Antonio, good evening, my friend. How are you? And yeah, let's smack in some tabs somewhere. So we're just preparing the layout, right? Again, this is not yeah. So tabs, how the hell do I use the tabs? So let's say tabs, components core tabs. Let me find some place where I'm using tabs. Yeah, here it is, right? Tab list, tab, Jesus Christ, man, okay. I don't need the React query, no. But for sure it would make some things, yeah, just less repetitive. I agree with you 100%. But I don't need, I don't want to introduce any of those third-party libraries unless they truly solve something concrete. Because I can write use query in literally 7 seconds, right? I can write that. Actually, I wrote that hook already myself, right? Here it is. And that's exactly what that thing does, right? I don't need retries, no. Component core tabs. Tab panel, yeah. So this we don't really need. Okay, beautiful. Okay, great. I don't need any of that, right? I mean, the fundamental thing, right, you have to understand is like, I don't need it, right? Those tools are not like some sort of candies, right? If you need something to solve a problem, use it, right? Or better don't, right? So it's as simple as that. It's not a matter of if it's nice or not, right? It's a matter of if you need it or not. And I don't need any of that, right? Literally none of it. This platform is working flawlessly. It's instant in every possible way. And as long as it works like that, I'm going to leave it like that. And when I need to optimize something concrete, I'm going to then optimize when it needs optimization, right? I'm not going to prematurely install a whole library because it's nice, right? That's not how I work. Or because some Twitter guy said it's good or some shit like that, right? You can cache data in many different ways. I'm caching data with Axios, right? So so I have my simple use request thing that I wrote, right? And I'm also caching stuff, right? So again, yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually, I think we need this here. Of course, they're the worst, yes, because they just talk crap, right? Most of those people never build anything, right? Dashboard tab routes, okay. So actually, we're gonna comment this out. Navigate. When I hear word influencer, man, I got sick in my stomach in 2 seconds, right? It's literally people who do nothing in life. They share other people's thoughts, other people's philosophy. They have no opinion on their own in most cases, nor intelligence at all. It's just repeating some shit that they found on someone else's profile, right? It's crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. You just need to internet connection today, and you can be as stupid as you want. It's pretty sad. Well, that's the thing. If it does speed up things for you, go for it. I fully support you, right? I don't disagree with that. Whatever makes your workflow better, I 100% agree, use it, right? 100%, I'm 100% with you, man. If something solves problems that you have, that's great. If you have the problems, well, if you don't have the problems, then you shouldn't be solving problems you don't have. That's the point. Okay, so we're gonna have those things like, yeah, obviously, again, it doesn't look great, and we're gonna work on that in one of the next streams, on the style and stuff. Mm-hmm. Similar events nearby. Okay, Neo4j would be super nice for those types of things, right? Related topics. So we're gonna need that as well. Yeah. Oops. Blah 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 blah. Where is this thing? This has to be, unfortunately, over here. Hmm. I see. Okay. Hmm. All right. Looks like shit. I agree, but it's okay. We don't care yet. Yeah. All right. I'm just thinking a bit. I'm sorry. Cool. Cool. Okay. Well, that's kind of inaccurate, is it? It is. Yeah. Thank you guys for your follows and all of that stuff. Pretty much, very much appreciated. Thanks. Thank you. So this events, I guess, is going to be previous events. Maybe we'll see. I don't actually know yet. Members. I don't know if we need members in a separate tab. I wonder. I mean, they have it, but is that really important to have it there though? Is the question. Because I would like to narrow down the complexity of this, right? I want it to be super simple, right? Yeah. We're gonna have some discussions as well, comments, right? Because we have a common system that I built that's kind of polymorphic, so we can add that system to any feature in the system. So that's good. So we're gonna have some discussions as well. Um, Featured event, okay, upcoming events, all right. Members. All right, so I'm thinking kind of wasting a bit too much time here on that stuff, right? So let's do one thing, right? I'm gearing up to start a new, somewhat sizable side project. Curious how you handle planning and keeping. Well, I don't. So that is the paradox of software engineers, right? For 15, 20 years of doing this job, right? 15 full time, right? I've probably for the 95% of the time I failed with side projects, right? And I failed exactly because of that, because you have this sense of, you kind of imagine that for somehow you're gonna have to be able to plan this side project and keep it under control, but you will not, right? So I think one of the first things that you have to do if you want to succeed and do what I'm doing here, right, is you need to build up the consistency, right? But you also need to understand that if you have a full-time job, I have a full-time job, a wife, a kid, and stuff like that, right? You have to be realistic with your expectations. I think a lot of people, how many of you, and I, myself included here, you get inspired by some project, you buy a domain name, 3 seconds later you do it for 3 days and then you quit, right? And the reason why you quit is because first you underestimate the complexity of building anything, and second you get inspired for like 3 days. You're like, oh, I'm gonna build this new thing, and then you realize it's not that simple. You cannot build anything in 3 days. It takes years to build something good, and then you stop, right? So in simple words, if you want to do a side project, you just have to do it consistently and in small steps instead of expecting that you're going to do it 5 hours a day or 8 hours a day, because you will not, right? So that's kind of how it works, right? You have to also prioritize, right? I mean, I um yeah, then right? The thing is, for me, this hobby, this side project became a priority, right? So for example, I come from work, I'm spend some time with my wife, I take care of my kid, and then in the evening, this is the only thing I'm doing now for a couple of months, because this is, so you have to choose, right? You have to realize that, at least for me, I don't have the time for two hobbies. I can only have one hobby. So for example, if I go back to record music, I will stop streaming, right? If I start playing a video game, I will stop streaming. So basically you have to somehow just accept the fact that if you want to do this, it has to be your priority, right? That's amazing. Well, I mean, that's how it is, right? I think one of the best things you can do is not to plan. And I know that this sounds very strange. It's like, why the hell did Alex just tell me not to plan? The biggest problem with this sort of planning, right, premature planning, is that people get deeply disappointed, right? Like, what you need to do is you need to build up the habit first, slowly, right? Like, you just have to get obsessed by it. You have to, I don't stream every day, I don't write code for this every day, but I have built up the consistency to just accept it as it is, right? I mean, this is so what I mean is, like, don't plan anything, right? Just decide to start and do it whenever you can, and then see in a week, 2 3 weeks, 2 months, see how it goes, right? Has forcing yourself to stream and been consistent. I mean, the stream is a huge waste of time, right? In a sense of coding, right? So for example, if I wasn't streaming, right, I would probably be 3 times more productive. But additionally, if I wasn't streaming, nobody would ever sign up on this platform. For example, I have around 1,000 developers signed up on Programmer Network now, but it's the price that I'm willing to pay, if I may say so, right? Because building a social platform takes years, not to build the platform technically, but to build the people, to build the community, for people to come there, write posts, right? So it's a trade-off for me, right? Yeah. So the thing is, if I am to say, coding wise, or productivity wise, stream is a huge waste of time, right? But this is like social selling, right? This is almost like social selling in a way. I mean, I'm obviously not selling anything, but this is a way. This is my kind of mini plan for it, right? So I'm gonna restart the physical meetup here in Copenhagen next month. So I'm gonna be going over meetups. I'm gonna be, presenting this platform in the meetups. I'm gonna be giving people stickers of Programmer Network and stuff like that, right? So I do have some plan, and this stream is part of that plan, right? But if when it comes to writing code and being productive, the stream is a huge waste of time, right? Because probably what I can do when I'm coding offline in one day is like in 2 3 hours I do in, I don't know, 3 streams when I'm streaming, right? Because why? Well, because of this, right? You can see now we are chatting every now and then, right? It's called Simple Icons, I believe. Simple Icons, yeah. No, no, man, my pleasure. Like, it genuinely very good questions. Like, thank you very much for asking, because nobody actually ever asks this, but it's not random, right? I have realized that the best way to build community is to be within the community, right? So what I'm basically doing here, I'm sharing my experience and knowledge, and I'm teaching people how to program and how to work, and they pay me off with signing up on the platform, being right, because those Twitch subscribers and all of this stuff, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Most people don't subscribe. Some people don't even follow, right? So from that perspective, it's completely useless, right? But that's how it is, right? Again, just don't plan anything. Just start doing whatever you want to do and see how it goes. And then fine tune over time, build up the habit. Because I see, I know myself, for past 15 years, I've been making Trello boards. For the next year, I would be like, Trello board, the plan for 2022, 2015, 2014. You make this enormously complicated plan of what you want to achieve in a year, and then you fail. You set yourself up for failure, right? Because you set up some expectations which are so high, and then you give up because you see that you're not right doing that, right? It's like, almost like, if you want to lose weight, right? If you want to lose weight, right, start running, start walking once a week, then start walking twice a week, then start walking 3 times a week, then 2 months later start running once a week, right? It's a process that you have to go through. I always laugh at those people who start going to the gym and it's like, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 times a week. It's like, man, no. Start once a week and then see if you can do that for 2 months. If you can just commit once a week, right? Yeah. So it's just that, just not so it's always about try not to set yourself up for failure, because all of us, we do that constantly, right? And actually, I need to give you one more tip. I think I think most fundamental, most valuable lesson that I learned past year when it comes to side projects. And I genuinely believe that if I knew this a couple of years ago, I swear to God, I would have made millions of dollars already. The most fundamental issue that I had is that I expected help from others. Like this is I kind of I'm so mad at myself. Like because past 10 or 15 years I've been building startups, right? And every attempt has failed because people that I would start it with would just get bored or give up or whatever. And I don't blame those people. I get it. Everybody tries something, they stop, they want to do something else. I get that. I mean, at the end of the day, right? That's how it is. But if I just knew that you cannot really rely on anyone else if you want to build your own product except yourself, I would be way further today than where I am now in the context of this, right? So, in simple words, if you want to start a side project, a company, whatever, only rely on yourself. I'm not saying don't ask for a temporary help from others. For example, many of the viewers on my Twitch here, they're enormously helping with like, oh, did you try this icon library? Oh, can I help you with this? That's different. But I mean, don't expect that you're gonna find someone for your own project who's gonna be as passionate about it as yourself. And if I knew this maybe 10 years ago, man, I don't know what I would have done by now, but I can tell you that I was getting demotivated a lot by others that joined the project. Whatever I was doing would just leave the project, right? And that was a huge mistake, right? Yeah, exactly. But just remember, if you ever want to build anything, you have to be the one to push it, to carry it out there. Maybe if you're lucky, you're gonna find a good co-founder. It's very hard, but if you're lucky, you can do that, right? Someone who shares the same vision, same passion, whatever. But in general, that's why I'm doing like, no, no. Well, I mean, you're saying. I mean, it also boils down to communication skills. I mean, no, not really, right? I mean, the thing is, right? We are not children, right? I'm 35 years old, right? I'm not. We're not. This is not some sort of a Steve Jobs type of movie, right? How there's some majestic person out there who can win everybody by words, right? It doesn't work like that, right? If you building a company is the hardest thing that there is in any industry. So if you building a company and making $1 with it is incredibly hard. So there's really no, this is not a problem related to communication at all. I don't think so, right? Like the problem is people don't want to work for free and they don't want to work extra, right? So nobody should be pep talking an adult that's 40 years old and try to winning him by words, right? That doesn't work like that, right? That's why, I mean, this is very simple. That's why 1% of people hold 50% of the wealth. Majority of people out there, they don't want to work extra, and that's fine. I mean, don't take me wrong, I support that. But the thing is, don't think that I have learned throughout my journey in my career that those people who actually succeed, they do deserve to succeed in that way because they do put extra dex. Yeah, yeah, 100% I agree because motivation is also highly overrated, right? it's not that I wouldn't be much rather sitting now and watching Netflix. I mean, so this notion how you constantly have to be motivated to do something is completely wrong. You're never going to be motivated always. It's not, I'm not motivated right now. I would much rather honestly lay down and watch Netflix, right? But you kind of build up this stuff and you push yourself, right? Because I mean, it's not that there's like something, oh, I just worked, 8 hours today and spent 4 hours with my son and stuff. Like I have nothing better to do than sit on Twitch with, 60 people, right? So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the world is as it should be, right? This instant gratification stuff, it's fine, right? I mean, I genuinely want, my main point is this: people who are hyper successful, except maybe if those that that inherited the right, that inherited the wealth, they do deserve that, because I mean they put in extra work, they're consistent, they're showing up, right? So and that's how it is. I mean, it's like if an average person is asking, hey, why am I not there? Well, you're not there because you're not willing to get there, and I honestly think it's fine as long as one is humble with him or herself. I mean, that's how it is, right? Because this, definitely, definitely. I mean, I think we are 100% on the same page. You are absolutely right that there is, for me personally, the problem isn't getting people to someone to join, right? I could get 10 people now to join this project over Twitch, right? The problem is finding people who have the mentality, the consistency, commitment to do that, not for a week or 3 weeks or a month, but to keep doing that, right? And like without needing to be like begged to do it, right? So finding someone who actually wants to, but that's how it is, right? Screw it. I mean, it's. I just wanted to share with all of you, like, if you ever want to build anything, at least until certain stage, you have to. You can only count on yourself. I guess that was my main point, right? I guess at the point of some sort of success, when you can actually pay people, when you can give them salaries, right? Exactly, 100%, 100%. I mean, I built this. This whole platform has been built inside of a stream, right? And you know, I mean, we started from zero, and now there's 1,000 people signed up, right? So it's actually so strange that nobody signed up this stream. Let me check my Grafana. Like, is sign up messed up or something, or it like literally just super strange? Okay. I think around 1,000 people so far sound that says, but I'm also removing inactive users all the time. My pleasure, man. It's just I'm just a random guy, man. It's like, thank you. That's how it has to be, right? I don't want this is a. I remove them manually. So people who sign up and they don't do anything, I just remove them after like a month or so, right? Because I don't care about numbers, right? Like, I can make 10,000 bots to sign up now, but that's meaningless, right? It's the active users that count, not some people sign up and maybe they're never going to come back again, right? Okay, so strange that nobody signed up this stream. I'm always like, but there's nothing in my logs, so that's fine, right? Okay, super strange. All right. Um, what is the time? Okay. All right. So I think maybe in the next 2 or 3 streams, we're gonna be pretty far with this meta functionality, right? The hardest thing is always, so if one person I could hire for this project, it would be a designer, right? Because I can code really anything. I'm a Cisco engineer. I've done a lot of DevOps. I've done backend and front end for 15 years. So none of the technical stuff is the problem. The hardest thing is the design part, right? First person I would hire would be designer instantly. Not UX designer, just UI designer. UX, I can also, it's just basic. Like this platform is, I'm building it with absolute simplicity in mind. But, you know, this figuring out where to put, right? Figuring out where to put things, right? Yeah. Well, I'm actually, I'm okay with design, right? I feel, I mean, I've designed all of this. It's not obviously rocket science, but none of this is inspired by anything. I've mostly designed everything myself. There's no there's no third-party libraries here or anything, right? It takes so much time, man. If I had a designer, I would just iterate with him and whatever, and then we would do this together, right? Okay, that's strange. I think someone reported this. Did they report it? Okay. So yeah, so design part is ironically very difficult. Like just, you know, takes time, and I have such a limited amount of time to do this, right? I literally, everything is built inside of this stream, right? And if I sit the whole stream and just draw mockups, then I can't code, right? So so that's why it kind of sometimes it's like, hey, we have a bug here. Well, we have it because we are designing and coding and doing everything at the same time, right? Because we don't have the privilege of having a designer, right? All right. Well, since I'm gonna actually have to round up now. It's 11:30 here in Copenhagen, and I have to go to work tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna continue this. We're gonna continue this stuff next couple of streams. No. Tailwind templates would save me nothing, right? Nothing. Like what would a template save me, right? What would template do for me, right? Absolutely nothing, right? This is a very custom platform. There's nothing generic here in that sense, right? No, I mean, I've been streaming now for like 2.5 hours. That's more than I usually stream. I think my average is maybe 2.5 hours per stream, right? But yeah. No, this platform cannot use templates, right? This is a very minimalistic platform, and it needs to, right? No, definitely not. Definitely not. I wish if there were templates that I like and that would solve problems, I would buy them every day in every stream, right? Spending $100 is not a problem, right? That's my least concern. Well, designs are not stolen. Designs are inspired by, right? So nothing is stolen, right? That's like saying a shape of a car is stolen, right? Or a shape of your shoes, right? Nothing is stolen. People get inspired by things, and it's not about stealing. I don't think about it that way. I'm just saying there's no templates that I could buy now and use here, right? Because I don't know how I want the experience to be, right? No worries, no worries. No, I mean, like if you are trying to build hyper successful startup, or if you're working for a for a startup that needs to get something out fast, then of course you want to use templates, right? Don't take me wrong, right? I mean, I'm not under any time constraints. I'm not investing money here. I do this for fun, right? So, but if I was building this with a ship fast, fail fast type of way, then every single thing that I did here, I would do differently. So every single thing that I did for this project, if I was building this, if I got some funding and I had limited amount of money and time, every single thing I did, I would do differently. So this is not like, again, I'm doing this out of passion, and I'm streaming and it's fun. But if I actually was trying to get out there to the market, then ship fast, fail fast, I would do none of this. I would not do my infrastructure. I would just pay for some cloud. I would buy a bunch of templates and stuff like that, right? Of course, right? Right. So this is not that type of project, right? I don't have to validate anything, right? This platform doesn't need validation. Any social platform just needs time, right? It needs a lot of time, right? Because social platforms are about people, right? Not about features, right? So this is not like accounting software that you have to put in front of accountants and then see if they need it, right? No matter what you do, right? This is right. We're probably going to eventually implement, sock.js or socket.io or something, some web sockets, but I'm not actually sure if we need that. So I haven't made up my mind yet, right? It's not a problem implementing WebSocket. It's more so it's not a technical type of issue. It's more of a feature. Like I don't know if chat is needed, right? Maybe it is, right? It's hard to tell for me now, right? Um, I don't know. So yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Give me 1 second. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's what it is. I think I met few of the new people, pretty cool ones. I don't know if uh, N131MG is still here, but it was very good questions, very good discussions, man. Thank you very much for asking those questions. And Zaur and everybody else, Antonio, awesome. Well, thank you for coming, guys. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. What is to say? Thank you as well. I gotta go. I gotta run now. Maybe my wife is still awake. Maybe I still have a few minutes to see her. Antonio, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. I wish you guys all the best. I wish you great evening. Take care. Be well, and take care of yourselves. Do something good for yourselves as always, and be kind to yourselves. I'll catch you guys up tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Good night and take care. Peace out, guys. Bye bye. Cheers. Bye.